I'm going to make a 1/6 scale velvet cape for a Batman figure that should be arriving tomorrow. It's from the Dark Knight trilogy in 1/6 scale by Hot Toys, so it's it's cool to use velvet. Obviously, velvet like this is going to work better with quarter scale figures. It's just as far as thickness goes, it's better in scale with the big guys. But I found some nice thin velvet material here, so I'm going to use this cape as a stencil and cut around it to get the right shape. I'm just hoping this is big enough. I don't think it will be exactly big enough because this is the Takara Batman Begins cape that I use. I've always used the Takara cape as a stencil for my custom velvet capes. So I'm going to take the cape off the Batman figure now. That's actually the Hot Toys Batman Begins Toy Fair exclusive Batman figure, but with the Takara cape instead of the Hot Toys one. So anyway, I'm going to see which piece of velvet works best. I think I'd like to use this one. This seems definitely more jet black than this one. Or maybe it's just the position. Yeah, this one definitely has more of a shine to it. So I'm hoping this one's going to be the right size. Alright, now with the Takara cape spread out across the piece of velvet that I want to use, you can see it's not quite big enough. It's kind of overlapping there, but that's okay. I don't want the cape necessarily to be as big as this. I'm just using this as a rough kind of guide to get the shape of the cape cut out. And well, I'll tell you now, it's for the Dark Knight 1/6 scale figure, the Armory version, which I managed to snag on eBay for a really good deal. I'm not getting the Armory or Alfred, just literally the Batman figure. It does come with the Hot Toys cape, but it's terrible as usual, so I need to prepare and make him a nice, beautiful custom velvet cape to make him look as good as possible. So I don't need it to be able to spread out as much as this, because the Dark Knight cape, or when he wore that suit, it was always just kind of hanging down his back. So as long as it's, long enough to just touch the surface of the ground behind him, that'll be fine. But I'll work it out. I'll get back to you and let you see how it looks once I've cut this out. I'll make it work. Well, the plot thickens. I thought I'd try putting the Hot Toys stock cape that came with the Toy Fair exclusive Batman Begins. The stock Hot Toys cape does fit inside the piece of black velvet, so I probably should use that as my stencil to cut around instead of the Takara. However, I much prefer the shape of the Takara cape. Alright, so I've got the Hot Toys stock cape here, right in position, so just need to cut across here, and that's nice and in position there. That's a little bit, I can give or take that little tiny bit there, but I wanted to make sure that grim bit of whatever that is on the velvet is like some crusty kind of burn, maybe, or glue, probably glue, and yeah, we're good to go. Lovely bit of black velvet here, man. Notice how it's not shining at all. It's like jet black. It's like proper Batman Begins velvet cape. Just absorbs the light and he just sinks into the darkness. Well, that ain't perfect, but it'll do for now. I do need to go around some of the edges and perfect things a little bit, but I'm not that worried about everything being exact. It's the basic shape and size and everything. Because like I've said before, in the Dark Knight it was always just hanging down behind him, so it really doesn't matter about little edges and stuff. You're not going to see it as long as it's the that black velvet action. Alright, it ain't perfect, but that'll have to do, and I will update you guys once I get my Hot Toys Armory Dark Knight figure tomorrow probably. And I'll put this on him, and yeah, it's really nice jet black velvet, really absorbs the light, doesn't really have much of a shine to it. I mean, bearing in mind the light is right on it there, so it still looks very black. That's going to work. Anyway, that's me. I've made my, well, how many velvet capes have I made in my time? I've been making them since back in the day, about 2007, 2008, and then it caught on, man. I remember getting a message from, I think it was Ferrigno, or one of those guys actually asked me how I was doing it, and I explained how, and then a bunch of velvet capes turned up on eBay. I never sold mine really, I just made them for friends every now and then, and made my own. But yeah, man, velvet capes are pretty sweet. But it's hard cutting them, by hand with a scissors. It's definitely hard to get a total straight line, but like I said before, bearing in mind this is just going to be hanging behind the Dark Knight suit. It's not really neat, it doesn't need to be absolutely scrumptiously perfect, but anyway, there you go. That's that. It's done.